Hello, today we're going to pick up with our Rumblebee build and we're going to go through replacing one of our doors. As we said in our last video when we were making our fenders here, we would like to mend these. We made a new one. We've got a little bit of overhang on this one, so that's about good. So we'll go ahead and mark on this one, maybe give ourselves a 1/4 inch, and so we can mend that one in as well. We got a bend up here, so we'll have to measure. We'll go ahead and pull this off. We've already taken all the bolts out. You can see we got a bend right there. It's probably about an inch, inch and a 1/4, and then we got another inch bend folded under right here. We'll take care of that, and also you can see the bottom's mended. So, and it is mended in the back on this one, so we'll have to account for that as well. We'll go ahead and get all the pieces laid out, and we'll come back and show you how we bend it and do the edges. Okay, we have our door off. We have a new piece of sheet metal on our table. We've got it clamped down. We've given ourselves about an inch right here. We're probably going to mend this over a 1/2 inch, but I'm going to go ahead and do this one an inch just in case we have some issues up here, and if we have to bend it more than an inch, that'll be okay too. Went ahead and started marking all the way around here. When we cut again, we're going to give an inch, or 1/2 inch here, I'm sorry, so we can mend this one. We'll go out an inch, probably 1/2 inch here as well, to fold this over. Now here, we're going to have to measure, because we got a bend here, and you can't really see it, but this edge bends back over here, double, back an inch, because we drill our bolt holes through here, so we want to double that over and drill through both two pieces, so to reinforce the sheet metal. So what we'll do is we'll measure from here, and we'll get that's an inch and a half. And like I said, we measured how much it's been over here, and it's an inch. We'll come right here, we'll measure, I'm going to measure 2 3/4 inches just to be safe. We'll measure 2 3/4 inches here. We'll go on the other side over here. I don't know if you can see in the camera, and I'm by myself, so we'll push this down. We'll measure out 2 3/4 inches there. Also, I have a 2-foot level. Should have had this ready before I started, but we'll go ahead. Put this on here. Be very careful, don't scratch or tear your plastic doing this. We've got all we need with the panel for right now, so we'll go ahead and unhook the clamps and get those off. Take our panel and set it over here against the car. We're going to line up our level and the marks. And we're going to mark it all the way across. We got it marked all the way across right there. I'm going to go ahead and get another level. And complete that line there. Complete that line there. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut from here to there, there to there, and then I'm going to cut it straight up through there to save this piece because we've only got an 8-foot break. And then once I get it cut, we'll put it in the break, and I'll show you how we're going to get this. We'll cut this end up here first, and then I'll show you how. Okay, for those who haven't seen our previous video where we did our front fender, we're going to go ahead and show you how to cut. The panels we came with they weren't mended, but when we made our fender, they stuck out about a 1/4 inch. We're gonna add another probably 1/4 inch, maybe a 1/2 inch right here in this circular cut here, so we can bend it back and mend it. Then right here we need to bend that one. We're gonna mend that one back a 1/2 inch, and I'll show you how we do it. So we've got our line. Yesterday with your shears, you've got your cutting edge. You can cut on this side or this side. And when I measured yesterday, from this side, from a cutting edge to the outside of this right here is precisely a ½ inch, so it's perfect. So when we're cutting, we're going to take and do our best to keep this up against that line. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I think I would rather have it a little bit too much than not enough. It's easier to bend and try to make it look good. So here we go. So again, we're going to go down through here and we're going to cut. This one we don't need a full ½ inch on, so we're probably going to do it in between, about halfway between the cutting edge and the outside of this as best we can. Here we go. Okay, we got a little bit too far in right there. As I said yesterday, you want to go and get it lined up and go, and I slowed down a little bit right there. I probably should have slowed down a little bit more here because it is trying to make these turns. Sometimes it gets in a bind, and it's kind of hard to make the transition. But I still think we'll be okay because we had a ½ inch or so to play with there, so we can make it work. So now here, we'll go ahead and make sure we're not going to cut into our pegboard under here. We'll pull this out a little bit. And this one we need to really make sure that we stay a ½ inch off that line. Here we go. We did a lot better on that one. We're going to go ahead and do the other side. I won't keep you on film for doing that. And then once we get that done, we'll put it in our brake over here, and I'll show you how to actually cut this in the brake. And then also we'll show you how to bend and mend the edges with the brake. Be back shortly. Again, I apologize, I'm by myself today and I don't have a camera operator, but on the back side, as we showed previously, we cut the metal and we got it ready. We also had to cut it in an 8-foot section there. Cut a little bit off to get it in the 8-foot brake. So what we're going to do now is we've loosened up the tension on the brake here, and we're going to slide the metal through. Table. Remember, we had our line measure off our other panel. We're going to find that, and we're going to put our brake. We'll bring our nose or angle, whatever you like to call it, of our brake down on the left side. I'm not going to snug it up right. We're going to make sure we get it as straight as possible. So we get to the right side. We'll get on this one. We'll bring our tension down a little bit. Looks like that's about perfect. So we'll go ahead and tighten this side down. We'll tighten the other side. Move just no, it's perfect. So we'll go ahead and put full tension on that. Thanks again, Mr. Blackwood, for this tip. But what we're going to do is just take a razor and we're going to go along the edge here, and we're just going to score it about 2 or 3 times. Now, sometimes that doesn't work completely, so I score it 3 or 4 times, and if that doesn't, I get like a 4x4 block or something, and I come and beat it back down, and then we'll go back up again, and usually that does the trick. Tension down, so we'll go ahead Pull it break up, bend it. Didn't break it all the way that time. Like I said. So we've got to push back down. I'm going to go ahead and try to bend it back up one more time. If not, I'll score it again. Oh, sound like we got it that time. We did. One thing, we only did scored it to right here because we got to cut from that way. So when we release the top plate, we'll be finished. If you remember the edge on the piece we're trying to make, we've got a bend on the top over, which is 1.5 inches. Then we got it folded another inch back under, so it's double. When we drill our holes though, we've got 2 pieces of sheet metal holding the bolt instead of 1. So first of all, we're going to have to flip the metal over because it's only one-sided color, and we want the yellow on the outside, so we'll have to pull the sheet metal out. We'll flip it over. We'll have to measure out a 1/2 inch. Well, first we'll measure 1 inch, and we'll do our double bend, and I'll show you how to do that. And then once we get the double bend, then we will bend our 1.5 inches to give our top piece, our top bend, like here, right here. So again, I'm going to mark in 1 inch. Let's say 1.25 inches on this one, because I gave myself some room down at the bottom. So let's say 1.25 inches. Here. All right, we're going to go ahead and get it back in our brake and get on our marks. We got our left one, just about right. We'll put a little tension on that one. Go here, see what we have here. Oh, it looks good. Go ahead and tighten it down. And we're ready to bend. So what we'll do is, again, just go ahead and grab the bar, the bend bar. Again, we want to mend this and double it over, so we're going to bend it up there as far as we can. We got that done. Once that's finished, we'll get back down to loosen the tension off our top plate. We're going to take our metal. Now in this case, the metal is, since I'm doing 1.25 inches, it's not quite, the bar does not go quite high enough to, well, maybe we can, see if we can get it high enough. Oh yeah, just barely. So what we want to do is, what we're going to do is we're going to use this top bar to finish our crease. So we're going to line up the outside, the edge now, the bent edge with the end of the breaking point on the brake here. We're going to do the same over here on this end. Come back and check this, make sure it hasn't moved, which it has just a tiny bit. Check that one. This is moved again. Okay, so now we're good. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the tension, the pressure, to go ahead and complete our mending. careful doing this because these brakes are top heavy and you don't want to pull it back over on top of yourself if you don't have it bolted to the floor. There we go. Take it out if we need to. If you want, if you like, or it's not tight enough for you, we can go out and get a hammer. It looks like it's a little slop right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back in there just a little bit more. And I'm going to take advantage of our top edge again. And go back and go ahead and put it and that's quite a bit better. And it's on it. Yeah, that's pretty good. So we're gonna leave it right there. So now we need to go ahead and get our 1.5 inch bend, which we had on the other. We're going to go ahead and double check that just to make sure. Yep, it's a little over 1.5 inches. So we're going to go ahead and mark again. Give ourselves an 1 3/4 on this, just to be safe. Alright, now that we have it marked, again, we'll go ahead and want to get it in there and get it on get it close as we can, and then we'll start bringing our tension down. We got everything on from that side to side. Look at might not be exactly right. We're gonna adjust it out just a touch so we can get the edge of that right in the middle of the nose on the bend. All right. Now we're ready to give ourselves a knot. It's probably about an 80 degree. A little bit under 90, so we'll try right there first. It's better not to bend it too far, a little bit short of what you need than too far. So we'll start at about 80 degrees, a little less than 90 to start with, and then we'll do the other bend, and then we'll come back. We'll go sit it on the car, see what we've got as far as our bends, matching up with our fenders and our back rear quarter and our bottom and everything, and then we'll come back and finish up. So we're ready to bend. I think we pretty much got that at a 90. We'll be all right with that. And there we have it. Nice straight edge on this side, and we got a nice straight bend. What we're going to do, like I said, we're going to go over there, we're going to sit it on the car, make sure everything looks good. We're going to try to get an idea of how much space we have on each fender well right there for our bends there, and then our bend up here. And then we'll come back and make sure, see what we got on the bottom, and if so, we'll bend the bottom. We'll mend it up about 1 inch or 1.5 inches, whatever we think that matches up. the panel is cut now. We've bent our edge. We've doubled up 1.5 inches underneath here, if you can see. So when we go to drill our holes to go in to bolt it onto our body, we'll have reinforced there. We've got a little bit better on our corners right here, and all this dirt is just the plastic. That's why it's so important you make sure that you've got this plastic covering on it before you mark on it or work on it. We came over here and basically we showed it up. We're going to make sure it fits in here. We made sure it fit before we started bending. One thing we did before we mended these edges right here, we put the body on here, we hung the panel, we came over here and we made sure we had about 1/2 inch so it lined up right here. And then we also did the same thing in the rear back here. When we hung it, we wanted to make sure that we had about 1/2 inch or whatever we wanted to mend the inside to give us a clean edge right here, a smooth edge. Then the video may not show it, but then we went ahead for strength. We went ahead and measured. We measured down about 9.5 inches. It's going to vary on your car. It won't be the same on all of them. But we came down and we tried to start our bend right here. It gives it a little bit, the body panel a little bit more strength. And we try to get the bend right there. And again, you may not see it, but we put it in our brake and we just barely bend it like 5 degrees, 10 degrees, something like that, whatever. And we came out here and then we just basically 9.5 down from, we measured from this top edge right here down 9.5 right here. And we measured 9.5 down from right here, and that gave us pretty close back through here. So when we get this, when we do our rear quarter back here, if we want, we can try to get another bend that follows it all the way back, and it'll make it stick out a little. We can get it to stick out. But that's pretty much it. Our door's hung. Now all we have to do is go, we'll get the old panel, we'll put it on the outside, and we'll pop the holes, because they've got insert nuts on the body already, and we'll go up and line the other panel on top of this and drill our holes and put our bolts in there, and then we'll pop 2 in here. Bolts, they're the bolts with the washers on them. And here's the bolts that we'll be putting in the tops. You can see they got a washer built in type deal. I think it's like a 7/16 head, and then we'll just screw them down in there, and we'll pop 2 in there. I mean, put one here, and then that way, and then down at the bottom, we got we'll show you at the bottom, we got the body hanger. Most likely what we'll do is we'll hang the body back on there, we'll get a Sharpie and we'll run on top of this right here, to get a line, get a level, and we'll take this off the car, we'll put it on this line, and then we'll come back down through here and mark the holes. Or try, something similar to that. And that's how we did it. I mean, that's how we did it.